Hello everyone, Dr. Suneel, Dhand, medical doctor. Welcome to another video. I want to share a very interesting piece of news with you in this video from a US state regarding their decision to put forward a proposal to ban mRNA technology in shots. And I will share that with you in a moment, but first, those of you who have followed me for some time know my own views on this. I took a personal healthcare decision based on my own situation and also being one of the few medical professionals from what I've seen who actually cared to actually read the studies that were done before 2020 and the concerns that were raised. I'm far from being a Billy bandwagon doctor or medical professional like most medical professionals seem to be now. Jump on a bandwagon. Don't critically think for themselves. Don't independently evaluate studies and come to their own decision, because as for my own personal health decision, most of you who have followed me here for some time know what that decision was. And I stand by that decision, and I'm actually very proud of the decision that I took back in 2021, because I didn't think that that particular shot was right for me, so I made my own healthcare decision. But I will absolutely never forget those dark days when I was faced not only with the threat of having to leave the United States because of a personal health decision, but also the abuse, mainly online abuse, that I faced from other medical professionals and a lot of doctors. Because of course, yes, that is what being a doctor is all about, isn't it? It's all about coercion. And when people don't do what you want, you get very angry. Yes, that sounds about right, doesn't it? Whatever happened to the Hippocratic Oath, respecting everybody's health decision, whether they're a doctor or not? But I could say, especially if they're a doctor and they have knowledge and they've made a decision. Informed consent, autonomy, all those things went out of the window, and those of us who remember that must never forget it, because the same players are still on the field right now. I was actually one of the few medical professionals from what I saw, and I don't mean to blow my own trumpet, but it is what I saw. Not many people in medicine and science actually cared to go back before 2020 and read the studies about what happened when they used that type of technology and the concerns that were raised. Everybody jumped on that Billy bandwagon. But anyway, we cannot change the past, we can only change the future. And I want to share this story with you from the last few days. Take a look at this. So here we have an article published, NBC Montana. Proposed bill would ban administration of mRNA shots in Montana. Legislators heard a bill on Friday that would make Montana the first state to ban the use of mRNA technology. This is a House bill which was sponsored by a state representative. His name is Greg Kometz, I hope I said that right, and introduced alongside a dozen other Republicans, would ban the use of mRNA shots on humans and provide for misdemeanors to be issued to violators. Well, that does sound like a very serious development if it goes through, especially the part about issuing misdemeanors. According to Johns Hopkins, gene-based technology, including those to protect against the pandemic virus, and manufacturers are developing mRNA shots to protect against other respiratory viruses. Friday's hearing on the bill in House Judiciary lasted well over 2 hours, with proponents arguing that these shots have caused short-term side effects and could have long-term impacts that are unknown, and that they could shed to others. Well, again, that's very interesting indeed, and the part there to really focus on is that, yes, manufacturers and companies, Big Pharma, is all in on this technology, and they are using it to develop not only against other respiratory viruses, but as I talked about in a recent video, they are also planning to use the technology for cancer. Obviously a tragic, devastating illness which is soaring right now, sadly, in society in many different age groups. They talk about what one doctor said here, a family physician, and her very strong feelings about this particular technology. Other organizations voicing opposition was the Montana Family Foundation. A dozen other people spoke in their personal capacity against the bill, several of which work in the healthcare industry. These included pharmacists, nurses, and an obstetrician. Well, of course, in any debate, you have to get a range of opinions, and it's one thing to get the opinions of frontline medical professionals, but I also wonder how many views they had of people with close ties to industry. That is the one that most concerns me, because these people are obviously heavily corrupted. mRNA shots are still in their infancy. Yes, they are by definition only a few years into the widespread rollout. we do not yet fully understand the long-term consequences of introducing synthetic genetic material into the human body, said one of the people here, the legal counsel. And the rush to roll out these shots without adequate long-term studies has left many individuals questioning the wisdom of their own medical choices. This is especially true for those who felt forced or coerced into taking these shots due to mandates, social pressure, or threats to their employment. And I actually do agree with that statement. Never before in human history has a new technology, which hasn't been used for a long time, been rolled out to millions, actually by now, hundreds of millions of people around the world. And that question regarding long-term effects is very valid indeed, as is the concern about so many people being coerced into doing this by mandates from the last government. Then there's a counter statement here that mRNA shots can integrate into the human genome and be passed on to the next generation is false. There's no evidence for that, said one person. Second, mRNA shots do not shed. Shedding occurs with attenuated live virus injection, said the state medical officer. That is, of course, the counter argument right there. House bill would impact existing shots such as hepatitis B, HPV, and would impact cancer treatment care such as pancreatic, lung, prostate, and brain cancer, said the vice president of the Montana Hospital Association. And then let's take a look at this long list of some other opponents of the bill here. A lot listed here, including Blackfeet, not sure what that is. Then they've got Montana Nurses Association, Society of Pediatrics. Well, if the Montana American Society of Pediatrics is anything like the American Society of Pediatrics, well, I have question marks over everything they're saying. But then they talk about the Montana Pharmacy Association. They talk about Bioscience Alliance. There you go. Big Pharma right there, Biotechnology Innovation Organization, and then a professor here of epidemiology. And then this part here is interesting. Under the bill, anyone who is found to administer a gene-based shot to a human in Montana is subject to a $500 fine for each incident and would have their professional license reviewed. Well, that is a major development. As far as I'm concerned, that would be a major news story if that actually went ahead. And Montana became the first state to actually issue fines and possibly revoke professional licenses for administering these shots. Whether or not you agree with the bill, the basic premise that I'm most concerned about is that nothing in medicine and healthcare should ever be coerced or under threat of mandate. That is simply wrong. It is a violation of the Hippocratic Oath and also a violation of basic human rights. Healthcare is about individual choice. It is about people being able to themselves weigh up the risks and benefits for themselves and their family and then make a personal health decision. There should be no pressure whatsoever. That is not what medicine is about. It's not what being a doctor is about. And there are many things out there which I personally wouldn't take myself. I've talked about mRNA technology, other medicines and injections on the market. Of course, those of you who follow me regularly know that I'm also not a fan by any stretch of the imagination of semaglutide, Ozempic. I have major concerns about that as well. What I want first and foremost as a doctor is an open, transparent environment. Everybody, especially medical professionals, should be openly able to state their concerns. And whatever happens at a legal level, we can leave to politicians and lawyers. But I know what real healthcare and medicine should really be about. And what we saw 2020 to 2022 was not real medicine and health. It was a violation of the Hippocratic Oath, and I will never forget it. So I will be keeping an eye on this story from Montana. I will update you if the bill goes forward. Thank you everyone for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think about this bill? Whether you agree with it, whether you disagree with it, feel free to comment down below. Science and medicine is all about open debate and everybody stating their own viewpoint. Check the links in the description down below for my website, the other work I do, and also if you're not already signed up for my free newsletter, please do so as well. All those links are down below. Hit the like button if you like this video and the subscribe button for more similar videos in the future. We will speak again very soon.